Welcome. Good afternoon. I am Christy Harris, and I would like to welcome you all to the Voices Against Violence podcast. Again, I am Christy Harris, and here I have my counterparts, Mr. Larry Johnson, Perry Blackman, and Mr. Prince Bates. First, before we get started, I would like for them to introduce themselves, and we're going to start first with Mr. Perry Blackman. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm Perry Blackman. I'm the manager of the VIP outreach team here in Selma, Alabama, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Mr. Larry Johnson.
My name is Mr. Larry Johnson. I'm a street outreach team member here at the Selma Center for Nonviolence.
Okay. Mr. Bates.
I'm Prince Bates. I'm a team member of the Selma Center for Nonviolence. I'm a part of the street outreach team.
Okay. Welcome. As all of you have heard, this is the team here with the Selma Center for Nonviolence. And guess what? We're going to shake things up and we're going to get started right now. So before we get started, we thank you all for joining and tuning in with us. So as of right now, I want to jump in with these questions. So our first question of the afternoon would be, what made you guys want to become street outreach workers and join this team here with the Selma Center for Nonviolence? Who would like to go first?
I'll go ahead and go. Okay. My parents were born and raised here in Selma and Orville, and I was raised in New York, but I always planned on coming back to Selma to retire. And after my father passed a couple of years ago, I moved back here to make sure my mom was good. And the condition I found Selma in with the behavior of the students and the crime rate, it just forced me to do something. And I started working with Selma High School students through the city blocks with Dr. Wilkins. And I met the people here at the Center for Nonviolence, and the work that they was doing was something that I knew I had to be a part of. So I applied for the position, and it came to fruition, and I got the job.
Okay. Thank you. We thank you for that. And I see Dr. Wilkins is doing great things over there at City Block. So that is well. Next, Mr. Larry Johnson.
Yes, I started to work because I'm originally here from Selma native. And after going to the military and coming back to see that the changes that was caused here in Selma due to gun violence, I figured it was something that I could do because I was already coaching at my local high school, at Keith High School. So as a coach, you see a lot of young men that are faced with everyday challenges. So with the work, I figured that it would be a blessing in disguise to be able to get in the community and try to combat some of the violence that go on.
Okay. Well, thank you for working with the children over there at Keith High School. That is great. And go Bears. So, Mr. Bates.
I decided to do this work. I guess you could say the work decided to pull me in because I was just on the other side looking in. Growing up different, choosing the path that I chose. This path ended up choosing me. It's not a lot of good that come out of the streets. So when you can put good into the streets, it makes you feel good to put good into where you come from. So to pour into after you've poured so much out of or taken so much out of something, it just makes you feel good. So I just feel like it was almost like a calling. It was just meant to be.
And that is great to make that transition from being in the streets and dealing with the community on another aspect and coming over and joining the team, that is great. And we do appreciate that. And we thank you for your truth and your honesty of coming from one end, then coming over and being a part of this team. So thank you. Okay, we've been down in and we've been dealing with the violence. We came back home to do the work. We are helping with the community, and we made that transition from one end to the other. With that, how have you all been affected by the gun violence within this community since you've been back home and since you're working with the youth within the community and you're coming off, your side of you're being in the streets, dealing with people hands on that you know who have been affected? How has it affected you now since you are working with the center?
Well, it affects all of us differently, but for me, I've had family members killed by gun violence here, and it just brings you into a different realm of life when you're dealing with life and death so closely and it's happening so frequently. So, working in this field, it touches you every day. So you have to learn how to balance work, life, and just keep everything in perspective. So for me, it just touches me in a different way because I got to go through it, and I got to make sure that certain people are protected, like my mom, my little cousins. So when I'm telling them, things to do, it's not because I don't want them to have fun. It's I just want these kids to be careful and understand that there are dangers out there.
Gotcha. Mr. Johnson, how do you feel?
Um, it's a twofold question. My life has been impacted by gun violence on both sides. I tell people with gun violence, you lose two parties when it transpires. The person that is shot and killed, you lose them to the grave, and the person that commits it, you lose them to the jail cell, to the system. So it's a huge impact over the last few years. It has impacted my life dearly. A lot of close friends. Um, I even had some kids that I was very, very close and near dear to my heart to wind up on the bad side. So it's a touchy, feely subject.
Gotcha. I understand that, and my prayers goes out to the families that have been affected within your circle, and praying for them, and going to continue to pray for you as well. Mr. Prince Bates, how do you feel, and what's your insight?
Um, Being affected by gun violence, I was affected before I left Selma. I was affected when I got back. We responded to calls of gun violence with being people that I know. Um, it takes a toll, but it also motivates you to do the work because if we could just stop it, maybe we could save one person. Couldn't save that one, but maybe we could save the next one.
Okay. And we thank you for doing what you do as well. It takes a lot to be impacted by so much and still being able to keep pushing and maintain your focus and the willingness to continue to do the work that you do. So we appreciate you for that, and we thank you. Thank you. With going through that and being affected yourself, how do you what do you think is the root cause of why this violence has increased within our community? Can you pinpoint one specific root in your aspect of what you think? What do you think it is?
I really think because these kids don't have anything to do after school. When I was growing up, we had the PAL, we had Boy Scouts, we had different organizations that had after school programs that kept the kids off the streets. Now these kids don't have anything to do. All they do is just hang out in the streets, and the only thing you can do in the streets is get in trouble.
Okay. So yeah, I heard you correct. I heard that. So what you're saying is we need to get active and get these kids something to do, have them something to keep them active, keep their minds going and flowing on positive things. Because what they say, idle mind is the devil playground. So yes, you are.
Exactly.
I
We
definitely
need to
agree
find
with you.
we need to find something for these kids to do. We have programs that we're going to be developing to ensure that these kids have something to do after school, different camps, things like that. So we will be working to keep these kids busy.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Larry Johnson. What do you say?
Me personally, I got to piggyback off Perry with that we don't have much for the kids to do in this day and age. Like when I was growing up, we can go to the park. Block Park was like if they told you was going to Block Park, everybody be like, yeah, 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 we're going to Block Park. We don't have a movie theater. We don't have a bowling alley. But it also starts at home. Before you can go and raise someone else's children or child, you have to be able to raise your own. And we're faced with um, parents that are not being parents. They want to be best friends. And I really believe in the village. I stand on the village. If we brought the village back, we would see a huge reduction in the gun violence because now the kids have someone they can look up to. You know, like for instance, back in the day, the big homie in the hood, he would tell you, "Hey, don't do that." Now you don't have a big homie no more because they don't respect him. So you don't have anybody leading these children down the right path. The people that are leading, they're leading down the path of destruction. So, we just have to get a grasp on the youth now, the millennium babies.
Okay, Mr. Bates.
Uh, just basically somebody that make right look cool. Um, Martin Luther King led a movement, and he had help. Malcolm X led a movement, he had help. Nobody leads a movement without help, but you also have to have a leader who's gonna say, "Put the guns down," because I don't have a gun. Everybody got guns. Who's gonna say, "Stop the violence," and actually avoid a fight and avoid confrontation in these kids and these adults' face and show them how it's done. So you have to have a leader to start anything, and an effective leader, one that knows how to follow.
Okay. And I heard everything that you guys said. So what are you all saying is we need partnership. We need people who would come in and help find solutions and form team building situations that would be effective for our community to help reduce and curb some of the violence that is going on within the community. So is that what you guys are saying?
Most definitely, yes. We
Okay.
definitely need somebody to come in, and you need partners. You can't take on the burden by yourself. So you need somebody to help you with different things. I mean, you may be able to facilitate one aspect, but can't facilitate the other. Somebody else may be able to come in and take on that burden and facilitate the others that you can't. So it's all about partnership and cooperation with each other. We need to come together and let the kids know that they do have help. They do have somebody they can look up to. Somebody that's not going to put a gun in their hand. Somebody that's not going to put drugs in their pocket and so send them out there to go do the dirty work because they're juveniles and they'll get a smack on the wrist. They need somebody to stand up for them and tell them, "Hey, that's not the right thing to do." And anybody who's going to do that and give you them things is not doing you any good.
Yes, I truly understand what you're saying, Mr. Prince, Mr. Laird. Would you guys like to add anything to that?
Yeah. Like Perry said, you got to have partnership with people. There's no I in team. I don't know no one man that has ever accomplished one single thing that was great by themselves. There always has been a team. You look at basketball, it takes a team. Sports, any kind of sports, it takes a team. politics. It takes a team. Everything is coordinated in a team. The military, they are a team with multiple different, structured uh, groups. It's a team effort. So the more partners that you have, the better that the structure will be, and the easier the work will be when you have more partners and more access to things.
Okay. Mr. Bates?
I don't really have a big piggyback off that, but it's basically the work. That's what we're trying to do. In hopes of people not retaliating, we are trying to create bonds to stop it, to stop violence, to stop reoccurring patterns, and to stop nitpicking and to stop back and forth. So, nah, they pretty much put it in a nutshell. So I'm just agreeing.
Okay, and I agree with you guys. As we all know, us being a team and coming together, we know that it takes more than just us to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. It takes more than just Selma Center for Nonviolence. It takes more than just the street outreach workers. And that is our goal. And that is the focus point here today, is to go out and partner with the many different organizations that we have within our community to help give the people here the resources and access to the things that they need. So that is awesome. And we truly appreciate you guys. With this and us being a team, how can we sit here and say today that we're going to go out and continue the work that we do and help the people within the community? Because we're talking it. What can we give the community?
Um, we can give them the resources and the information to different resources that they don't have and that they need. Um, if we stay focused and stand as a team and keep building and growing, we can get to where we want to be. We can accomplish our goals. If we set our goals and we just work towards them every day, we'll reach our goals. And we're going to have to involve the parents. We're going to have to involve the schools. We're going to have to involve the churches. Larry said it best. It takes a village. And if we're going to build our village, we have to start with us. And we're going to have to protect those kids and shield them from the things that are going to harm them.
Okay. Mr. Laird, Mr. Bates, would you guys like to add on, any one of you?
We just, got to remain active in the community. Let people know that we are here to help and not harm them. A lot of people see us, they may think different, but everybody have their opinion about somebody. But I look at nights when we go to scenes. Some people be like, well, so and so do so and they did such and such. We gotta all come together to say, you know what, this is gonna be the last one. We're not gonna take anymore, and we're not gonna take no for an answer. Um, And instead of retaliating, you have to allow the justice system to do their part. We know they're not perfect. We know this. We know that it takes time before a person is completely sentenced to a murder case, because you got evidence got to be gathered. You got all kind of things that have to be done. But when you turn it over into God's hand and put it in His hand, then things will be better, because it doesn't make sense to go back and forth. And now you got more family members taking losses and more people getting hurt and more trauma is just being poured into the community. So you got to learn how to accept what is really in realization, if that makes sense. If a person has been called home, then hey, it is what it is, and let justice, do its job.
Okay. Mr. Bates?
Um, we, as a team, as a group, as an organization, could help reduce the violence by figuring out the violence, figuring out who's into it, figuring out why they're into it, and de-escalating the situation. Um, there's not much you can say, but it's a lot you can do. We've put it in words, we've written it, we've marched, we've walked, we've marched more. We still march, but we continue to march. We don't stop what helped us put our foot in the door. We have peace walks all the time for things like this. We are not a religious organization, but we have people who believe in whatever they believe in, and I'm one that believes in a higher power. So I do believe in the power of prayer. So whatever anyone believes in, do it if you think it will help us reduce it. And that's what we're doing here at the Selma Center for Nonviolence with our peace walks, with our Selma City block clubs, with the people that we partner with. Everything that we have going on at the Selma Center for Nonviolence is helping contribute, but we're new to this. We're starting this. So we need the help from people that care about the community, not only about the kids, not only about the school and the education, but care about the adults who've been hurt, traumatized, care about the foot soldiers who never got the proper justice, but they's trying to reap the benefits of the things that the movement started. We are Selma 2.0 at the center. Our mission says it all. I mean, we don't have to go around beating on people's doors for them to know who we are. We could just literally sit at this platform as we're doing and continue to thrive, continue to make calls, continue to control the streets because we can't stop everything. Mr. Johnson said it right. We have to let law enforcement do their job, but we all human as well. So when law enforcement can't pick up it, we need to try and pick up it. I mean, the murder scenes that we pop up on. Every time we go to a scene, it's always chaos. It's never peace. So we always have to intervene, but we can't be the only ones intervening. People have to realize that you have to speak up. You have to make it known. And if you ever need a platform, we're the Selma Center for Nonviolence. If you are the right person, we can give you that because this is what this is for. We need to speak out, speak up against violence. And that's what we're trying to do at the Selma Center for Nonviolence.
And I totally agree with that. And with us being the only nonviolent program here within the Dallas County, we want feedback from our community. We want to know what it is that Selma needs to grow beyond this this sector of violence that we have. We want to know what it is that we can do to help you help our community become great for the people that are coming behind us. We have babies who are coming behind us who need us. So what can we do to help you? Feedback from the community would be awesome and it's needed. And as we go to the community and we talk about what it is that our community needs, what do you feel would help with getting other organizations within the community violence program? What do you think we can do to help get that here for our community?
Um, Write letters, invite organizations to the table, let them know what we're doing and what we expect if they do come to partner up with us. Um, we need to let everybody know that we're here. And once they know that we're here and we're building, they'll come. When they see what we're doing and they see the results of some of the things that we're doing, they'll come. As long as the community stands behind us, we can stand for the community. And that's what it's all about. If we stand up for the community, they'll come and stand with us. And we just have to invite them.
Okay. Mr. Bates?
Um, the meetings, the gatherings, the talkings, the passing out of flyers, a lot of this stuff is already happening, but we're creating social media platforms to really let people know what's happening. So all the meetings we have to really just keep course, keep doing what we're doing just more effectively. I mean, you don't stop doing something just because it's not working. You probably need to do it either better or just be more consistent at it for it to work. So a lot of this stuff comes right out of this organization. We can change laws. We could change leaders, but the same problems will still be here if we had the same spirits. So until we change our mindsets, we'll be ineffective. But what we can do is what we've been doing at the Selma Center for Nonviolence. We've been knocking on doors. We've had peace walks. We've had endless encounters with chief of police, with all kind of commissioners and things of that nature, trying to solve the problem. All we have to do is put everything together with the right spirit. I can't be Prince when it comes to Selma. I have to be Selma when it comes to Selma. I can't feel for me. I have to feel for the community, the little boys and the little girls that have to walk to school because they don't have public transportation. The people that have to walk home because their parents have work. These are the things that we have and the people that we've connected with, we have to just bring it all full circle and actually be effective. Just talking about it is one thing, but we have to move. They didn't sit still when they walked across that bridge. They didn't sit still when they did those sit-ins. They didn't sit still when they wanted to change the Voting Rights Act. They moved. So what we have to do is move.
And I totally agree with you on that. With us being the center, we have hosted many stakeholders meetings. We're going out to city hall meetings, and we're trying to pull in people that we know that can help us reach the people within our community and get those persons who have been affected to come in and just share their stories on what they have been through. And as we take these walks and go out into the community and meet with the council people and our city governments, we also have to understand and maintain our principles that we so strongly talk about and engage in on a day-to-day moment. With our nonviolence principles, how can we help reduce the violence within our community? The gun violence, not just the gun violence, but the mental violence and the lack of resources. How can we implement these principles within our day-to-day walk for our community?
Well, we definitely have to use the principles that we've learned here. Um, Fighting the evil and not the person. You know, a lot of people don't think that a lot of this stuff is spiritually, but it is. You know, when you want to settle a problem, you have to find out the root cause of the problem. So when you do that, you can then formulate a constructive, concise plan to combat the evil. But you have to know where it's coming from. You have to know what's starting it and what's the root cause of it. So it's not just fighting against the person. You have to fight against the spirit, and we have to learn how to do that and combine our strengths. You know, I see how we work with the kids and the work that you do with all the kids at these different high schools and the different middle schools. I mean, you guys have been really great doing the work that you're doing with these kids, and they appreciate it. We just have to learn how to work with these parents to get them to understand that it's their job to do some of this work too. This can't fall on us.
Okay. And I totally agree with you and agree with this man. Mr. Larry.
I agree with Perry 100%. If we change our mindsets on certain things, we become better people. Instead of retaliating against someone, love on them. Hey, forgive them. I forgive you for what you done, and let it go. Versus, retaliation. So you just have to understand what you're going through.
And I totally agree with you. And understand everything you guys have said, because guess we are the beloved community. We are the framework for the future of the generations to come. And I truly thank you guys for tuning in and listening to us on today. This has been great, and we are open for the feedback that will come in from our community, and because it's needed. It is needed so we can help you all. And we thank y'all and we love y'all. We have a couple events that will be coming up. We have our peace walk that will take place. That will take place on March 21st. That is a Thursday. And we will gather at 3. The walk will begin at 3:30. So if anyone is available to come out, it will be in Valley Creek Home Apartments. If you all are able to come out, we look forward to you guys being there with us. And also, we have a memorial brunch that will take place on March 23rd. It is it is sponsored by the Reese family, and this is a this is something good for our community to just come out and just fellowship together, and we can get great feedback and just be a part of this with this family and love on them and show them that we are there for them as a community. It is the One Reese the second memorial brunch. It will take place March 23rd. It is at 11 a.m. until 1, and it will be held at the Selma High School's cafeteria. We look forward to you guys being there and just joining us as we partner with them for this event that they're hosting. We thank you guys, and we appreciate you all for tuning in again, and we look forward to you all tuning in to our next show. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.